As usual, just pause the video as I hover over everything quickly so you can see everything I'm using on this loadout currently. Yeah, getting to level 50 and using the Teen Witch mod I got for her was a game changer for durability, finally. The biggest weakness for the Vex minion build I found leveling her up when I started was boss fights. Because, and I mean like real like these kind of bosses I could still ordinarily do, although I couldn't be as aggressive as I am here. Basically, I just had to lay low and let my minions kill everything slowly. But in actual boss fights, like the Primordial Vaults, some of the main story bosses I had to do for unlocking the uvh ranks, they were hard. They took a while to kill still, and also, I couldn't, unlike my aiming, I died a couple times at least trying to do it. I mean, it wasn't hard enough that I couldn't get through it, obviously. I never hit a wall, at least. But, yeah, the boss fights for Vex minion build, at least this version I made, until you get some way to just sustain your freaking health bar, your shield bar, something to get you regen. It's impossible in some of these ridiculous boss fights because I'm convinced you literally cannot even dodge the damage that you take in them. Even if the boss is not focused on you, because some bosses will get aggroed by my Reapers, although some actually never aggroed to them at all. They only concentrated on me. So I don't really fully understand the aggro the Reapers can do sometimes. Seems to work on some bosses, but not on others. But I also learned it usually didn't even matter, because bosses that aren't aggroed to you, for some of these boss fights, they just do these massive AoE attacks no matter what, that there is nowhere to go to avoid taking the damage. And so many of these, like the Primordial Vault bosses, some of the main story bosses, not all, but some of those, you just feel like there's literally nothing you can do to not take a giant chunk of damage out of nowhere. Same for mobbing to an extent, where you would see your entire shield bar from full get taken out from one hit instantly, and that's also why just stacking regen is the key to surviving some of that crap. But the problem with Vex is that there is no way to do it until you get the Teen Witch mod, honestly. Now, I'm not using a Timekeeper shield. I don't know if I ever will. The full health build with the Timekeeper shield, I don't really think it's worth it, to be honest, because you cannot stack nearly as much health as you can shield/armor. Right now I'm using just a basic turtle armor that's giving me 20,000 armor. Now the Timekeeper shield gives you like 7,000 health and takes away your armor. That's not worth it. It gives you 33% damage reduction, but then you get damage reduction through armor too. So, I mean, a lot of people champion the Timekeeper shield, and I'm like, I don't see the point, though. They'll say, well, you still get the overshield when you get full health. Yeah, great, but if I'm using an armor or a shield, that means I have 3 bars of protection that my lifesteal now heals all of them. Like, I heal my health, I heal my armor now, and I heal my overshield. I have 3 bars of protection. And armor, you can stack a lot more on that bar than you can for health. So I just don't see the value in going the health route for Vex still. Especially because, when I made this change, it's like, dude, I don't need anything else. It was clearly the Teen Witch mod is really the key, not the Timekeeper shield. So I might try it at some point, but once I got to level 50 so I could use this mod that I farmed on my aiming for, it was just a giant. You see here, like, I could not play as aggressive. I did the Cascadia Vault immediately after this, because that boss gave me issues trying to survive when I first did it. It was no longer an issue. I mean, for the most part, the fight still took a little bit, so I will say this build cannot kill bosses that quick regardless. I think it took me like 2 minutes to kill that boss. It was still faster than than it was before, though. But that was mostly because I didn't have to run around for my life anymore. I could actually just soak up all the damage finally. So, but yeah, that's what I was doing. I was literally meleeing that boss during phase 3 and being fine for the most part. I will say my aiming is still better as a tank for endgame, as you would expect, frankly, and as it should be the case, because Vex is not a true pure tank. There's instances, even now, I've seen where I can still be in a little bit of a pickle because I might take a big chunk of damage, and then suddenly my minions aren't hitting things, so I'm not getting lifesteal, and I have to turn and either summon a minion or shoot something myself, to try and get lifesteal. And I mean, you can take damage so quickly in this game that can actually make or break whether you'll live sometimes when moments like that happen. So this is still not it'll never be as tanky as my Aemon, who literally can achieve total invincibility for the most part. I wouldn't say this Vex build is total invincibility mode, but it's close though, and it's enough. It's enough is all that matters. It's enough to still be, play aggressively and be fine 99 out of 100 times finally. So yeah, Teen Witch mod definitely all the way for a minion build. I might try and do a green boss killing Vex gun build at some point, and have that loadout for maybe when I go bossing, and have this. I mean, I'll always prefer this build, I'm sure, on her for any kind of mobbing, because it's just including mobs that have bosses like this, because it's just perfect. It's like you summon your 3 Reapers, they take a bunch of aggro already, they constantly heal you, they also do a good amount of damage. And now, thanks to Groundbreaker and others that I've stacked on her, now she can also do a decent amount of damage. And you just run around like your Doom guy again, or Doom girl in this case. This is like Doom Slayer's little sister. Now, I'll probably play with my skill tree more. I know there's Vex builds out there that can still boast better boss killing time that use, I think, the dagger in her skill tree to stack Groundbreaker. The thing is, they're getting ready to nerf Groundbreaker. So I'm not sure I want to invest much into Groundbreaker damage until I know what it will actually look like after they nerf it. Right now, I'm using Groundbreaker, and it's definitely helpful, but I don't feel like I'm abusing it. I'm using it probably as it was intended, which is just I'm meleeing between shots and stuff like that, and getting boosted from that. And then applying Curse to anything I melee, so that when I'm focused on a boss, at least, it lets my minions do a good amount more damage. So that way, I can help mitigate my weakness to bosses, mostly with just... Now the weakness, though, is just simply how long it takes to kill them. It used to be everything. I couldn't survive them, and I couldn't kill them fast. Now, thankfully, I can just survive them fine. But yeah, it was like night and day. Getting from level 49 with the purple class mod I was using to level 50 to this mod, it changed everything. My damage actually kind of went down because I had melee damage on my purple mod. It didn't go down that much, so my damage roughly stayed the same. Basically, I didn't really see much of an improvement in damage, though. But in survivability, oh yeah. I could not play like this and not have my entire armor bar getting evaporated instantly and all the time. It's just so annoying. But yeah, now it's nope. And so you saw I'm using 3-piece Rubber Man. I never thought I would use that. But it makes sense to me because Teen Witch gives you 10% lifesteal. If you go 3 points into Rubber Man, you get 10% lifesteal through that. So that literally doubles your base lifesteal and gives you a little bit damage reduction. I didn't go the lifesteal on the green tree because that requires kinetic. And only using kinetic, I still like to use different elements, and I just didn't think I needed it. With 20% lifesteal now all the time from just those two, I mean, that's most of the time all I need. But if you see, I literally have a perfect roll on my rep kit, though. My rep kit is perfect. It's got a low cooldown. It's a mini rep kit. It has accelerator on it, which, yes, I do want that because I'm not using now with caffeine, although you could probably justify using it some on this build if you wanted to. But because of that, you know, my minions I can sustain forever for the most part, but there's instances where you just have to summon them more often than you might have. Or if I'm summoning the gun dudes, the specters, then I might have to need more cooldown to keep them up. So having acceleration on my rep kit is great because I just basically wait till I see a charge is done, and then I immediately pop it to eliminate the charge of the next one much quicker. But then it's also perfect because, as you see, it has lifesteal on it. So basically my rep kit helps me maintain the infinite uptime of my minions, as well as applying a huge extra lifesteal for my giant amount of survivability when I have that active. There is a legendary rep kit I have. I forgot what it's called, but it's the one that actually gives you 30% lifesteal for like 20 seconds, and the rep kit itself has a low cooldown. It's a rep kit where it extends the duration of the rep kit as well as lower its cooldown. So if you use that one, you can actually have a giant lifesteal buff on you for almost the entire time. Just because of how short its cooldown is and how long its duration is, it's like 80% of the time you're going to have that lifesteal on you the whole fight, basically. I'm not using that because I really wanted acceleration. And because you still can't get you still can have that buff permanently anyway. So this way I like my rep kit because I just use it when I need it. Either when I need it to get a minion back quicker or to get lifesteal, if I just need to do it just for that reason. But whenever I'm doing it more regularly to get a minion back, then I'm also stacking lifesteal on top of it to just get my entire health bar back even that much quicker. I mean, at that point, that's 50% lifesteal, and basically any melee hit is like my entire over shield, basically. Any swing from my Reaper is like my entire over shield bar getting replenished again. So it's definitely really OP for tanking. Again, if you've seen my Aiming builds, you would know why I would say and declare that nope, anyone who was trying to tell me earlier that Vex Reaper was better tank than Aiming, heck no. My Aiming melee and my Aiming Scourge build are better tanks than this build is. But, and also they're better at killing, like my Scourge build is much better at killing bosses right now than this build is. However, I will say this build has the edge finally on all of them for mobbing. And is, it's just different anyway. It's fun in its own way. But also, like I said, I think I might be able to increase its bossing damage in the future. I might just need to tweak the skill tree, maybe the firmware. But I like my firmware, though, because I have the 2 pieces of the melee damage to still help with that. But that 3-piece rubber man, I can't see myself getting rid of it, because that's just doubling my lifesteal without having to require me to go into the green tree to get lifesteal. So anyway, that's where it is now. Really, really fun, really OP build.